Let's open somewhere easy. A restaurant on Montford Drive is serving its last dinners after 17 years, and the person taking over the space already worked there. That's at the end. But first, this is CLT Daily. I'm Steve Babulis. It's Tuesday, August 25th. Your independent daily briefing for the Queen City. Today, I owe you a number. 5 days ago, I told you nobody could say what Charlotte would owe the state if it walks away from the I-77 toll lanes. Today, I can do better, and the number isn't the interesting part. Two outlets now report the same figure, $60 million. That's what Charlotte and the towns around it would repay for design work already done if they refuse the lanes. On the 4th, I aired $64 million, because that's what was reported then. 60 is the number in the room now. I still can't tell you how it was calculated. Nobody at the Transportation Department has published the math, so it's the figure two newsrooms are using, and it hasn't been shown its work. Now the part I actually want you to hear. Last night, City Council held a public forum. Charlotte holds more than 40% of the weighted vote on the regional body that decides this, so that room mattered. Reverend Dr. Janet Garner Mullins asked the question I'd have asked. Quote, "What has changed? The concerns raised by residents have not changed, and the burdens that toll roads place on families have not changed." Robert McCutcheon of the Charlotte Regional Business Alliance made the other case. Quote, "The debate over I-77 South has too often become about winners and losers. But what if Charlotte can do something bigger?" Something has changed, though, and it isn't the road. After the region pulled its support in May, the state came back with more money. Up to $300 million for community benefits along the corridor, bike lanes, green space, grocery stores in West Side food deserts. Put those two numbers next to each other. $60 million if Charlotte says no, $300 million if Charlotte says yes. That's not a highway project, that's a negotiation, and both numbers arrived after the region had already voted this down once. Both sides of that are real. $300 million on the west side is not nothing in a part of town that's been asking for decades, and the objection is displacement and pollution in historically black neighborhoods along the route. If you heard the Brooklyn episode, you know why that lands hard here. The calendar. The Regional Planning Organization votes September 23rd. The state's clock runs out October 5th. 41 days. A $4 billion decision on a deadline the legislature set against a repayment nobody has itemized. Same ask as last Thursday. Somebody at the Transportation Department can end one piece of this in an afternoon by publishing how $60 million was calculated. All right, here's what else you need to know today. Two things I've been counting down to both land today. 147,000 students go back to Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools this morning. That clock is done. And tonight at 6, at the Government Center, the school board votes on releasing what it legally can from the Crystal Hill investigation. Communications, timeline, methodology, and costs. I've now confirmed that date against the board's own calendar. If it passes, the report comes September 8th. And the business number. Charlotte area employers have cut 1,622 jobs through July, up about 10% from last year. Statewide, layoffs are up 38%. The biggest here was the Family Dollar Distribution Center in Matthews, 373 jobs. That count comes only from mass layoff notices companies must file, so it's a floor, not a ceiling. Now, as promised. Good Food on Montford is closing after 17 years. I've been telling you this weekend, and one source now says the 31st, so go early rather than late. But the space at 1701 Montford Drive isn't going dark. It becomes a restaurant called Bittersweet, run by Lee Ann Dolcetto, who spent 18 years inside that restaurant group. Same owners, handing a longtime manager her own door. 17 years ends this week, and the person who gets the keys is somebody who was already in the building. That's a better ending than most restaurants get. That's CLT Daily for Tuesday, August 25th. I'm Steve Babulis. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same city. Until then, Charlotte, take care of each other.